Alright, now that we've done our heat fixed smear, I'm going to show you a very simple protocol for a gram stain, which is a differential stain to distinguish between different types of bacteria, depending on their cell wall configuration, I believe, peptidoglycan layers and so on. So we've got our heat fixed smear here, which you might be able to still see as a sort of white milky area over part of the slide's surface. We've got our staining rack, and we've got our staining tub. And we're going to be applying two different stains to this. We've got our primary stain, the crystal violet solution. There you are. We've got the grams iodine, which is going to be used to wash off that primary stain. And then we've got our safranine solution, which is going to be our secondary counter stain. So our first step is going to be to thoroughly cover this particular smeared area of the slide with this crystal violet solution and leave for a minute, which is why I've got the stop clock here. So it doesn't take much, and obviously these pipettes are going to have to be disposed of because they will all stain. So I'm just going to gently cover the area with the stain, like so. Put these off to the side. We're going to time that for a minute, and I'll just go through the rest of the procedure while we're waiting. So what we're going to do next is we're going to then hold the slide, and it says in the instructions I've got with forceps, but because I've got gloves on, I don't mind staining my fingers. That's okay with me. And then we're going to wash off the stain with the iodine solution, and then we're going to cover the smear with the iodine solution for a minute, and the iodine is going to act as a sort of it's not quite a glue, but it helps this stain stick to the cells that we've got. So the crystal violet iodine complex is formed, and the smear will look pretty black, so it's sort of discoloration into black rather than that crystal violet colour. Then we're going to rinse it off with some alcohol we've got after that. Looks like we're almost about done. Right, so we've got a minute. Going to open our iodine. Doesn't matter if it goes over. We're going to wash it all off anyway. Right, so I'm going to hold it at 45 degrees, so tilting downwards, and just gently pour off the stain and then wash it off with some iodine. Use as much as you need. There we go. There we are. And then we're going to cover the stain with iodine. So do the same we did for the crystal violet. And that's going to act as the sort of adhesive assistant. I'll leave that for another minute, so until about 3 minutes on this stopwatch now. I'm just going to go grab some more ethanol. Big pipettes, there we are. Right, so it's been another minute, so we're just going to rinse off, holding again at that 45-degree angle to let all the iodine wash off. I'm going to wash it all off until the washings, sort of the liquid that's dripping off, is a pale violet. So not quite there. Get some more ethanol. And as you can see, all my labelling's rub off, so maybe That's looking fairly pale at the moment. We'll do one more just for good luck. Right. Right, and it says rinse immediately with tap water. So I've got my little beaker of tap water. Just going to rinse it off again at that 45-degree angle. A little bit of a shake to get rid of the excess. Rinse with tap water. Then we're going to do the same thing as we did with the crystal violet, but with our counter stain, which is this safranine solution, which in this case already has the dropper built into the bottle. Don't need to get a pipette, or it would do if I hadn't removed it at some point in the past. Oh well. So we're going to completely cover the aforementioned area. So it's going to make sure there's not a huge amount of excess, or at least on the top surface. The bottom surface isn't a huge problem. And completely cover the aforementioned area for another 30 seconds this time. So I'm just going to 1, 2, 3. Right, so until about 5:15 on the stopwatch. And again, we're going to rinse it off with tap water afterwards. So I'm going to rinse it off again at that 45-degree angle into the tray or sink, wherever you might be, with tap water. Okay. Now we're going to blot dry, very particular that, blot dry the smear with a filter paper or blotting paper, or in this case I've just got some blue roll, using firm pressure but not moving it side to side or that way. Anything that might disrupt the smear. So we're just going to gently blot it, just to soak up, and I'll do the underside as well, just to soak up the liquid that's dripping off the bottom. Don't want to mess up the microscope. So I'm just going to blot it dry, trying not to move it side to side in any capacity whatsoever, so we don't disrupt or disturb any bacteria that are going to be on that surface. Alright, so I'm going to leave it to dry again for another couple of minutes, let the water evaporate off, and then we're going to view it under the microscope. But that is it. So you might be able to see, I don't quite know if it translates very well on camera, there's lots of light going on, but there is a field of little pink and sort of coloured dots, which hopefully are going to be our bacteria visible under a microscope. Right, so I'm going to go do that under oil immersion 100 times, 100 times objective lens, and hopefully I'll have some pictures to share.